How to spell check your wiki page. This is an important and very simple thing that just makes your work so much better. Step 1. Make sure you are in the edit mode on the wiki page. This is important. If you are in view, you won't see any of the toolbars. Now, once you're on your page and you have written down some words, you will notice that there's nothing underlined in red here. That is because I'm in view. I have to be in the edit mode. Click the Save and Continue button at the bottom of the page. Every so often I would also just click the regular Save. Step 3. When you're in the Edits mode, you'll see a toolbar on the top of your page. You need to click on the ABC button that has a blue check mark in the toolbar. Now once I've clicked on the edit mode, you see where things are underlined in red. Let's take a quick look. Now if they weren't already underlined in red and I was in edit, this is the ABC with the blue check mark. I would just click on that and it would underline things for me. Step 4. Everything with a red line under it is a word that's not recognized by the computer's dictionary. You need to right-click on those words and you will see a list of the correctly spelled words that the computer thinks you might be trying for based on the letters that you typed in. The computer does not recognize this as a word in the English language, so I can right-click that, okay? And then I would be able to choose the correct word that I want. Please be careful to pick the correct word. As you will see, picking a wrong word that is spelled correctly is just as bad as picking an incorrect word. Step 4, continued. You have to remember that the computer doesn't know the last names of people, some first names it doesn't know, and it has no idea that the word Spencerport, capital Spencerport, is spelled correctly. That is one of the very few words that you might spell correctly that is actually underlined. Let's just go through and fix the spelling. So I right-click here. This one is a difficult one. It doesn't really know which one it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be current. Now you see how current with an A? That's like the jelly current. This is the correctly spelled current. Okay? Now, this word here is so horribly misspelled, it has no idea what it's supposed to be. And you might run into that problem. Actually, what this person wants to type in here is current event. So as you can see here, this is just so horribly misspelled that the computer doesn't even know. So you'd have to fix this one by hand. And again, right-click, reasons, I'm assuming is what they probably wanted to put in there. Reasons. One reason. Okay. Now, let's go down here because there's some things down here that are underlined in red but are not necessarily spelled wrong. It says Paul Ryan, okay, and that's the wrong word there, but Paul Ryan, that's actually spelled correctly, but it's underlined. As I'm sure you should know, it is, number one, a name, so it should be capitalized. Number two, even if it wasn't a name, this word should be capitalized because it's in the beginning of a sentence. But this is a name, and it actually picks it up as being misspelled, okay, because it wasn't capitalized. The vice president, his last name actually is Biden. This is spelled correctly, but as I mentioned before, the computer doesn't know that the vice president right now is Joe Biden and how to spell his name. So that is actually spelled correctly. Be careful when you are doing the underlined red. 90% of the time, it's not spelled right. Some of the time, as you can see here for Biden, a last name it doesn't recognize, and also it doesn't recognize Spencerport. It is spelled correctly though, but it just doesn't recognize it. So 90% of the time, if it's underlined in red, you do need to make sure that, it's spelled correctly. Now, I do want to go back and kind of point out some things here. If you read this, there are some other problems that go along here that the underline in red is not going to fix. Okay, the 2012 vice presidential debate, so this is not capitalized, which it should be, and it should be presidential and capital debate. Let's just kind of go through this and read this. I chooses the vice president debate for the current event project for many reasons. There's some problems there. Vice, wrong vice. It's properly done up here. Now this is a great example of a word that's spelled right, but it's the wrong word. You want vice, and you want it capitalized. I'm going to skip some of these capitalization problems because there is just a ton of problems with this one. I choose this, I'm leaving that one alone, the vice president debate for the current event project for many reasons. One reason is I wanted to do something different, thin the popular choices. Again, thin is spelled right, but that's not the right word. Don't think that spell check is the only thing you need to do when you are going through and fixing your problems. This is a great example of maybe having someone else, one of your friends, proofread your writing, which is very easy in this particular case. So obviously that's the wrong word, but it's spelled correctly. Then the proper choices. The presidential debate, the governmental election. Obviously, the problem there is that that's not really a sentence. That's just random words strung together, and it didn't make any sense, did it? When you're reading through something and it doesn't make any sense, there's probably an issue there, like it is. Another reason is the debate for vice president is pretty good. All right, vice president still needs to be capitalized, and I'm not sure that being pretty good is a reason. Okay, Paul Ryan agents. Wrong word. Spelled right, an agent is, someone, a person, but it's I'm assuming that the word that they were looking for here is against. Remember, they probably misspelled against so horribly wrong that the computer had no idea which word to pick, and when you right-clicked on it and you got your selections, they didn't really take enough time to figure out that they picked the wrong word. Okay, so Paul Ryan agents, wrong word, should be against Vice President Biden looks to be a scare. Again, scare. Correct spelling, I'm not sure that that's the word that they were looking for. The final reasons is it's different than everyone's picks new things in Spencerport. If that didn't make any sense to you, that's good, because that sentence doesn't make any sense, because again, it's just random words strung together. It could be that they were, right-clicking on things and they picked the wrong word. I don't have any idea. Proofreading is important. The debate is going to be a good one. That is probably the best sentence in that whole paragraph. So again, this is for spell checking, but as you can see, when you're spell checking, you're also proofreading. Please make sure you have the right word. If you're unsure, even if you're not unsure, have someone else reread your page, and then they can tell you right down here in the changes part what you need to fix. And of course, save when you're done.